That yogurt sitting in your fridge right now, the one you bought because the label promised gut health, immune support, or a lighter, healthier you, what if I told you it's been lying to you for years? A comprehensive study analysed over 900 yogurt products in British supermarkets. The findings? 98% of children's yogurts failed to qualify as low sugar. And it gets worse. The UK's advertising watchdog has banned the same yogurt brand 3 separate times for making health claims they couldn't prove. Yet walk into any Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda or Morrison's today and you'll find these exact products still dominating the chilled aisle, still making the same promises, just worded slightly differently. Today, we're exposing the 7 yogurt brands British shoppers need to stop buying immediately. We're breaking down exactly what's hiding in those ingredient lists, why the health claims are questionable at best, and, most importantly, we're giving you the clean alternatives that actually deliver what these brands only pretend to. Starting with worst offenders. Number 1. Actimel. If there's one yogurt brand that has built an empire on health claims it couldn't substantiate, it's Actimel. For years, those small bottles have been marketed as your daily immune booster, the friendly probiotic shot that keeps your defenses strong and your gut happy. The clean packaging, the scientific-sounding claims, the reassuring messaging aimed at parents wanting to protect their children. It all looks so trustworthy. But here's what Danone, the company behind Actimel, doesn't want you to remember. The UK's Advertising Standards Authority has banned Actimel advertisements 3 times in 4 years for misleading the British public. The first ban came after a television advert showed a mother telling her child not to lick a bus window, with animated bacteria supposedly plugging holes in the child's gut. The ASA ruled the advert wrongly implied Actimel could help prevent children catching bacterial infections. It couldn't. The second ban targeted an advert claiming Actimel was scientifically proven and directing viewers to their website to see the proof. When people actually visited the site, they discovered the studies were restricted to healthcare professionals only. The public couldn't even access the evidence they were being told existed. The third and most damning ban came when Actimel ran adverts stating it was scientifically proven to help support your kids' defenses. Danone submitted 5 scientific studies and claimed 23 studies on over 6,000 people backed their claims. The ASA rejected every single one. 2 studies involved hospitalized children in India, not healthy British children. 1 study didn't even examine immunity. Sample sizes were too small. The doses used in the studies were double what a normal serving provides. So how is Actimel still on shelves making immune claims? Because they found a loophole. They now add vitamins D and B6 to the formula, which do have approved immune function claims. The probiotic strain they spent years promoting, it has 0 approved health benefits. But by adding vitamins that cost pennies, they can legally keep the immune messaging alive. And let's talk about what's actually in that bottle. A standard Actimel contains 11 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres. That's 3 forms of sweetness: sugar, liquid sugar, and dextrose, all appearing before the strawberries, which make up just 2.1% of the drink. But surely the 0 sugar version is better? Not quite. When you remove all the sugar and fat, you remove everything that makes yogurt taste like yogurt. So they have to rebuild it artificially. The 0% version contains modified starch to fake the thickness, pectin as a stabilizer, and 2 artificial sweeteners, sucralose and acesulfame K, to force sweetness back into a product that no longer has any natural flavor to carry it. A recent study found that sucralose consumption at doses below even 15% of the acceptable daily intake caused gut dysbiosis and altered glucose levels in healthy adults. The very product marketed for gut health may actually be disrupting it. Current price £3.75 for 8 bottles at Tesco, or £2.50 with a Cobb card. You're paying premium prices for a product with a regulatory rap sheet. Number 2. Activia. Same company, same playbook, different pot. Activia has spent years positioning itself as the sensible, grown-up yogurt, the one that's good for your digestion, gentle on your stomach, and backed by science. When you see those green pots and the phrase gut health, you assume you're picking up one of the cleanest yogurts on the shelf. But in 2009, Danone withdrew their health claim applications for Activia from the European Food Safety Authority, rather than face formal rejection. They claimed they were waiting for clarification on how the approval process works. The truth was simpler. Their evidence didn't support their marketing. The Bifidus acti regularis strain they've built their entire brand around has no approved health claims in the UK or Europe. None. Every digestive benefit implied on that packaging is legally unsubstantiated. And the ingredients tell you why this isn't the simple, wholesome product the marketing suggests. Activia strawberry contains sugar, modified maize starch, pectin, and that famous probiotic strain that regulators said they couldn't prove does anything. A single 115-gram pot delivers around 12.7 grams of sugar. The healthier 0% no added sugar version swaps the sugar for acesulfame K and sucralose, the same artificial sweeteners, with emerging research linking them to gut microbiome disruption. Number 3. Light and free. This is where the deception gets genuinely clever. Light and Free has mastered the art of looking healthy. 0% fat, 0% added sugar, Greek style, no preservatives, no artificial colours. The packaging practically screams clean eating. If you only ever saw the front of that pot, you'd think you'd found the perfect yogurt. But let's start with the most important words on that label: Greek style. In the UK, Greek style doesn't mean Greek. It doesn't have to be strained. It doesn't have to be thickened naturally. It doesn't have to follow any of the traditional methods that make real Greek yogurt what it is. It only needs to look like Greek yogurt. A landmark court case established that only yogurt actually made in Greece using traditional straining methods can be called Greek yogurt. Everything else must be labelled Greek style, a term with no controlled legal definition. Light and Free is made in Germany, not Greece. And here's how they fake the thickness that real Greek yogurt achieves through straining. The ingredient list includes potato starch, tapioca starch, modified maize starch, pectin, and carrageenan. That's 5 different thickening and stabilizing agents working together to simulate what authentic Greek yogurt achieves with just milk and thyme. Carrageenan is particularly worth knowing about. A recent randomized controlled trial found that moderate carrageenan intake triggered gut inflammation in healthy young men, especially those with higher BMI and impaired insulin sensitivity. Another study found it causes erosion of the protective mucus layer in your intestines, allowing toxins to pass through. Then you have the sweeteners. Because they've removed all the sugar and fat, they need to force sweetness back in somehow. Enter acesulfame K and sucralose. So while this product looks Greek, sounds Greek, and costs Greek prices, it's a German-manufactured imitation held together by industrial starches and controversial additives. A real Greek yogurt, like Farge, contains 2 ingredients: milk, and live cultures. Light and Free contains over 15. Current price £2.75 for 4 pots at Tesco. Number 4. Muller Lite. For decades, Muller Lite has been pushed as the guilt-free option, the smart swap, the thing you can eat every day because it's fat-free and low in calories. Millions of British shoppers have been persuaded that fat-free means healthier. But what happens when you remove all the fat from yogurt? You remove the creaminess, you remove the thickness, you remove the flavour, and you're left with something watery and bland that no one would actually want to. Every Muller Lite pot carries a warning, contains a source of phenylalanine. That's because aspartame breaks down into phenylalanine in your body. And here's something the branding doesn't tell you. In many Muller Lite products, water is the second or third ingredient. You're essentially buying water thickened with starch and sweetened with a controversial artificial sweetener, all packaged to look like a premium health food. The toffee flavour is even more engineered. There's no actual toffee made from butter, cream and sugar. It's toffee flavouring, a lab-created version designed to trick your taste buds into thinking you're eating something indulgent when the real ingredients aren't there. Some variants combine aspartame with acesulfame K, doubling up on artificial sweeteners. Number 5. Muller Rice. Let's be absolutely clear about this one. Muller Rice is not a health food. It's barely even yogurt. It's a dessert that's been marketed into the breakfast and snack aisle. A single 170-gram pot of Muller Rice strawberry contains 20.4 grams of sugar. To put that in perspective, the NHS recommends a maximum of 30 grams of sugar per day for adults. One pot of Muller Rice hands you 2/3 of your entire daily allowance in what's supposed to be a light snack. But it gets more interesting when you look at what else is in there. Muller Rice contains carmines, listed as E120. This is a red colouring derived from crushed cochineal insects. Now, there's nothing dangerous about it, but most people have no idea they're eating ground-up beetles with their breakfast. The protein version of Muller Rice doesn't escape scrutiny either. It contains a triple combination of artificial sweeteners, aspartame, acesulfame K, and sucralose, all in one pot, plus carrageenan and cellulose gum. If you want rice pudding, make rice pudding, but don't let the yogurt-adjacent branding fool you into thinking this is a healthy choice. At over 20 grams of sugar per serving, it's closer to a chocolate bar than a breakfast food. Number 6. Petit Filou. And now we get to the products that should make every parent and grandparent in Britain genuinely concerned. Only 2 out of 101 children's products qualified as low sugar. That's a 98% failure rate for an entire category marketed to health-conscious parents. Petit Filou sits right in that problem zone. Even after recent reformulations that reduced the sugar content, a big pot still delivers around 7.5 grams of sugar per 85 grams serving. The NHS recommends children aged 4 to 6 consume a maximum of 19 grams of sugar per day. One big pot of Petit Filou delivers nearly 40% of that limit. Give your child 2 pots and you've handed them most of their daily sugar allowance before they've even had a proper meal. Another survey found that 63% of children's yogurts with child-friendly packaging provide 1/3 or more of a 4 to 6-year-old's entire daily sugar allowance in a single serving. And here's what makes this worse. Parents reaching for these pots in supermarkets, believing they're making a healthy choice for their children, are being systematically guided by cartoon characters, colourful packaging, and health-adjacent marketing that emphasizes calcium and vitamin D while downplaying the sugar content. The product does contain added vitamin D and calcium, but so does a glass of milk, without the added sugar, without the modified starch, without the flavorings. Current price, £1.75 for 4 big pots at Tesco. Number 7. Froobs. This one might be the most egregious of all. Froobs are marketed as strawberry, red berry and peach flavour portable yogurt tubes. The packaging shows colourful fruit. Parents assume there's fruit inside. There isn't. Froobs contains 0 actual fruit. Look at the ingredient list. Yogurt, sugar 6.1%, modified manioc and maize starch, calcium citrate, natural flavourings, stabilizer, guar gum, acidity regulator, citric acid, vitamin D. No strawberry, no red berry, no peach, just strawberry, red berry and peach flavourings. Sugar is the second ingredient, and yet the product contains no fruit whatsoever. The fruit imagery on the packaging is pure marketing fiction. At 9.9 grams of sugar per 100 grams, 2 tubes deliver over 7 grams of sugar. That's more than a third of a 4 to 6-year-old's entire daily sugar allowance for a product with no nutritional fruit content at all. This is a sugary, starch-thickened dairy tube with artificial flavourings designed to taste like fruit. And it's being marketed directly to children as a lunchbox essential. The safe alternatives. So what should you actually be buying? Let me give you 4 options that won't require a chemistry degree to understand. Far-Ye Total is the gold standard. It's authentic Greek yogurt, actually made in Greece using traditional straining methods. The ingredient list is beautifully simple. Pasteurized skimmed milk, cream, live active yogurt cultures. That's it. 3 ingredients. The straining process naturally concentrates the protein to 9 to 10 grams per 100 grams. No added sugars, no sweeteners, no thickeners, no stabilizers. It costs £3.75 for 450 grams at Tesco, or £3 with a club card. Yes, it's more expensive than processed alternatives, but you're paying for actual food, not water and starch. Lancashire Farm is a brilliant UK option. It's made by a family-run British dairy with a simple ingredient list, whole milk yoghurt and live biocultures. No additives, no thickeners, nothing artificial. At £2.25 for a full kilogram at Tesco or £1.80 with a club card, that's just 18p per 100 grams. It's cheaper than most processed yogurts while being dramatically cleaner. Aldi Brookleigh and Lidl Milbona Greek style are the budget champions. Aldi's version costs 95p for 500 grams with just milk and live cultures. Lidl's Milbona Greek style is £1.69 for a full kilogram, working out to just 17p per 100 grams. These discount supermarket-owned brands often have cleaner ingredient lists than premium-branded health yogurts, costing 4 times as much. Yo Valley Natural, plain, not the fruit versions, is another solid choice. It's organic milk and live cultures, nothing else. The fruit variants do contain added sugar and starch, so stick to the plain version and add your own fresh fruit if you want flavour. How to spot clean yogurt. Here's your practical guide for navigating the yogurt aisle without getting fooled. The 2-ingredient rule. The cleanest yogurts contain just milk and live cultures. Some might add cream for thickness. If the ingredient list goes beyond 3 or 4 items, start asking why. The Greek-style trap. If it says Greek style and doesn't say made in Greece, it's an imitation. Check where it's manufactured. Authentic Greek yogurt achieves its thickness through straining. Greek-style products achieve it through starches and thickeners. Red flag ingredients to avoid: modified starch, corn, maize, tapioca, potato. Industrial thickeners replacing traditional methods. Carrageenan, linked to gut inflammation in studies. Artificial sweeteners: sucralose, acesulfame K, aspartame. Gut microbiome concerns. Glucose-fructose syrup, added sugar by another name. Natural flavorings, a vague term that tells you nothing. The sugar check. Plain natural yogurt should have around 4 to 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, all naturally occurring from lactose. Anything above 8 to 10 grams means sugar has been added. Fruit yogurts will be higher, but anything above 12 to 13 grams per 100 grams is excessive. The price reality. Clean yogurt is often cheaper than processed alternatives. A kilogram of Lancashire Farm at £1.80 costs less per gram than a 4-pack of Activia. You're not paying for health when you buy branded probiotic yogurts. You're paying for marketing. The UK yogurt industry has built a multi-billion-pound market on the gap between what you think you're buying and what you're actually getting. But now you know, and knowing means you can make different choices. Which one surprised you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch a video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.